Yoga can be transmitted on many different levels. One is towards one's physical and mental well-being, or it could be transmitted as a tool for ultimate well-being, or it can be used as a key to open up the mystical dimensions of life. Whenever I have any kind of encounter with such things, I've always found them very shy.
Whoa.
This is the first time I'm seeing they have simply no qualms about it. In fact, they're eager. That's why I say this, that they must have a role in our making, otherwise they wouldn't be so eager to be involved.
Hey man, you wanna go watch some Rick and Morty tonight? Let's go, like… Let's just close that curtain real fast.
Prefer Jersey Shore.
Yeah, no, let's flip some burgers. Let's make some food. Yeah. We could talk about sports.
Mm.
We could talk about sports. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, we're not getting anything at all with this video. It's like every time I've had an experience, sometimes I reflect and it makes me recognize that the whatever external things you would see is just so nothing. It's so nothing. It's like you watch someone's body convulsing, that's nothing. You don't know. You have no idea what that was like. It's like every time I've had, like, you could watch me have an experience that I've had, like one of the deepest, most vibrant experiences I've had, and on the external you're like, oh, you looked really calm.
You're
like,
laying there, man.
Yeah, or like he was laughing or something. And on the inside it's like…
I've been asleep for a lot of them.
You could…
Yeah, my physical body.
Yeah, you're just laying there. And it's just…
That looks kind of
like
boring.
The external, it just… We are sincerely clueless as to what was being filmed. And that is what gets me.
I like sincerely clueless.
Yeah.
Like, I am sincerely clueless.
Learn with us.
Yeah.
Sincerely clueless.
I like it.
That's a good tagline.
Yeah, that's a really good tagline. Like, hey, I'm being sincere.
That's what these
I
videos…
am clueless.
That's what these videos feel like. You know, a lot of videos were like, you hear it and you're like, I get it. No, I came to that too. That's really cool. And you know, you don't feel sincerely clueless, but these videos make you feel very, very humbly, sincerely clueless.
Yo, one thing that struck me, I'll let this guy laugh a little. One thing that struck me was when he goes, most of the beings I've met, beings again, have been shy. That was fascinating. Cause like you run into a being in whatever energetic, let's not even call it that, whatever dimension you're chilling in, and then it's like you just want to converse with this thing and it like runs away from you a little bit, or whatever it is. And then he just goes, yeah, but these ones are immediately involved. That's why it feels like something completely different. And then it's like, that's the finisher. That's the knockout punch. You ready?
Before we move to Kailash, I think it's good if we look back and see what's been the significance of being here at Manasarovar. I don't want to go about describing what's happening because it'll just fire up imagination and throw your perception off gear. It's better. You don't see anything, it's fine. It's good you don't see anything. You start seeing things which are not there, that's dangerous. Of course, the pilgrims who come here, they have their own stories. Every day they will see Shiva coming out of it, Parvati coming out of it, all those things. That's for the Indians, and if people from outside come, they see many other things. All these things that they're seeing, one thing is it may be just cultural. But when I just stand there and look at it, whatever imaginations they may have may be corrupting their vision. But I think everybody who came here saw something they were not able to decipher, so they use whatever is in their mind, they just put that picture into that, what's happening there.
Wow.
Damn.
But it's not happening without substance. Something is happening. Nobody can go untouched by this.
This was an experiment I came up with when I was having some sort of internal dialogue about the ability of, like, the faultiness of our perception. And it was like, if you don't think that your brain is just like creating what you see, just watch a horror movie and then like walk outside in the dark. And you're gonna see that exact figure from the horror movie in every dark spot you look at, you know, at least for me. And that is incredible that he goes, you see something that you don't know what it is, you can't make out what it is, so you're just gonna gather whatever knowledge you have and be like, especially if it's something that feels energetic too, it's gotta be Jesus, it's gotta be Shiva.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the hell else could it be?
Right. I think that's what, in the last episode, he was talking about how one of the main goals of yoga is to open a door of perception, which we call the third eye, that doesn't have, it's not tainted by memory or anything. And so something that I've been feeling like is very beneficial is to do something like watch a horror movie. I've like kind of put myself purposefully in bad experiences or difficult experiences or really happy experiences, and can I then move through life after that unchanged on the inside, like very still. And that has been a really interesting challenge of not, are you holding all of the pain and suffering, all of the joys in your heart at the same time? Because therefore, if you say, for my instance, you go to, I work at a farm. I go to the farm, I see we have a chicken coop. The chickens are not in good living standards. Can I witness that? Could I witness someone like slaughtering chickens? Something like that. Something that would oftentimes in my past be just like ruin my day, like scar me. can I witness that and say, and yes, and that too, I'm seeing this all the time? Like, can you be holding that in your heart at all times so that it comes into your physical life, and that is something that you are in touch with at all times? Because if the power of that, from my feeling, is that you can then approach each situation with just like a very clear lens, and not be blind to those things that are happening on the other side of the world, like the wars, the injustices, like all of those things that you just like, if those were to be put in front of you, on your platter, it's like you just be in shambles. So if that could be put in front of you on a platter and you're not in shambles, that means that you're holding it in your heart at all times.
And not just in that moment, but also after the moment.
That's what I mean. Is like, if you're always holding it in your heart, then, that's not going to limit your ability to respond consciously, with a clear lens, without like that tainting everything that you're doing. Can you be so sure about your path that you witness something like an injustice, what you would perceive as an injustice, and not have your path be totally skewed toward that? Because for me, it's like I'm working in my life for all the things. It's like I'm not... There can't be one thing that calls me, if that makes sense. There can't be this one thing that takes my attention away from all of the things. Because oftentimes I'll see some sort of thing in my physical life which is just so small compared to all the things that are happening throughout the world. And that could sometimes shift where my energy's at. And I think the key is to not have that shift where your energy's at. Because if you have a wide perception and you're always perceiving the things happening, then that shouldn't be shifted if it just like happens physically, because it's always happening. That got a little weird. Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
That was a Mitch ride.
That was a Mitch ride.
That was a good one.
All right.
Nobody. There is no way one can go untouched. The water is just electric. Temperature-wise, where do you think it is? 1 degree? I don't know if you noticed, there were cubicles of ice floating on the edge. It's just 0 or just over. That's not a comfortable place to be for anybody. But many of you, if not all of you, many of you are absolutely comfortable in that kind of temperature. That doesn't happen in normal water.
Whoa.
Wow.
Today morning I put those 4 people in the front, and because of their particular condition, whatever. And I think 2-3 of them really went into dizzy today. You noticed there were 4 people lying down in the front? Maybe if one of them shares their experience, it would be good.
ப்ராசஸில் இருக்கிறப்போ ஏதோ கண்டினியூஸாக நீட்டாக வந்து போகிற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. சில டைம் பார்த்தா நிறையா பீன்ஸ் மாதிரி நிறைய பேர் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருந்தது. கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக என்னோட பையன் வந்து அந்த லேக்குள்ளே போகிற மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி.
Since yesterday they've been tugging at my ring finger. When I look at that, this ring finger, I can open up the whole cosmos if I have the time. It's just a question of time. This is the very key to the whole existence. A human system has been built like this, that an access and a key has been given to us, that if we are willing to use it, we can open up the whole cosmos with this. This I believe is essentially human. If some other form of life knows about it, either they have a role in making us, or they know what we know. somehow. Or maybe we came to know of these things much later than them. Or maybe it's one of them who taught us all this. The more and more I look at it, it looks like it's one of them who taught us all.
Like for me, can you hear Sadhguru say the whole universe can be opened by your ring finger and not then focus too much on your ring finger waiting for something to happen? If that makes sense. It's like if you want the experiences for me have never come with the concept before the experience. So can you have your perception remain very still so that if an experience comes along where the whole cosmos is opened by your ring finger, it's not tainted by anything. It's just, it's brand new. It's a wiped, clean slate. It has nothing to do with Sadhguru.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've had concepts of things and then an experience of it that only afterwards can I connect it to the concept.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and that's
like I wouldn't say that having a concept before is the thing. It's that an experience is always going to be outside of concept.
And my perception is that if you are clinging to the concept, then the experience could miss you.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying. It's like that situation's totally like also within what I'm saying. Like you have a concept, you have an experience, and you don't connect it with the concept. And then afterwards you do, and then that's very truthful to you because you were like, oh, these two things are lining up. Like this is my experience. Oh, maybe it is helpful after you have an experience to build some sort of conceptual framework around it. I found that to be
you could communicate.
True. Exactly. Or have a better idea of like what it can do.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
Oh boy.
All this. Now I am sounding like a UFO freak. I don't like this. So whatever you see, whatever you experienced, not only here, right through this whole spiritual journey, whatever you have seen and experienced is of no consequence unless it can leave a transformation in you. You saw God, so what the hell? What about seeing God? If it doesn't leave you in some way transformed, you saw God or devil, what difference does it make? You saw God, I saw a banana, what about it? You think it's any less? When you're hungry, you will realize which is more. So whether it's at Manasarovar or Kailash or Isha Yoga program, that's all that's important. Is it in some way leaving you transformed? Is it in some way making you into a higher possibility? Or are you just the same fool talking about fantastic things? That's the big difference.
That one of the holy shit. But one of the concepts that one of the practices that came to me a bit ago that I think I mentioned it here, but is the idea of, are you perceiving and going through life as the savior or the saved? Because the saved would be like, that thing happened, and, or at least in my way of, the thing that I am learning is like the savior mentality, which is definitely something that's been a big part of my life throughout my whole life, like trying to figure out how to help.
Yeah.
Has been the thing that's like, I saw Jesus, you know, I saw Shiva, let me tell you about it. And then it's like, right there, I am taking away the entire power of the transformation, like that he's talking about. And it's,
if you really did see Shiva and you really did experience that, or saw Jesus and you felt the full experience of that, you wouldn't even need to tell someone that you had that experience, because the person sees you, they're like, whoa, I sense a difference in this person.
They're transformed.
They're transformed.
I love that.
So you wouldn't even need to say you've had this experience, because the person would be like, what happened to you? You know, so there's no need to come forth with that excitement, like, guess what just happened to me? Like, you're
that's
the
just
same
gonna
old
like create jealousy and bullshit.
jealousy and bullshit, exactly.
And it makes me think about how when you talk to people and you talk about like the most profound experience of their life or the most transformative experience of their life,
Nice.
it is often in my experience, a negative thing. A negative thing. Like for me, my mom moving away was like the start of holy shnikes, I need to be responsible for my
parents
life.
getting divorced in a similar time in both of our lives.
Exactly. And then it's like, those are things that we didn't even allow to transform us. They had to transform us, you know? And it's like,
Amen.
those are the experiences that are going to get you anywhere. And you can also almost give that experience or that value to anything. Because a dang conversation with the checkout person at a store could transform, like on a small scale, just your day.
Yeah.
But that's a transformation in your life. That's a transformation in the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like the moment that you step out of, if you can, I've found this to be tough, to be courageous enough to step out of the role of person buying food, checkout person, or whatever you're buying. They ask you, how are you? You give a response. It's like, I've been trying to like build up the courage to like give a response that makes them pause for a moment. That makes them go, you know, it's like they're rolling. It's like, huh? What was that? You know, something that like, that stops that unconscious flow for both of us potentially, and can break the seal of you're this, I'm that, and it's just like, we could have a moment potentially.
And the interesting thing about that stuff too is that planning it almost ruins it.
That's the tough part for me.
Yeah.
That's the really tough part for me.
Because it's like, it's not going to be
Yeah.
presence
Yes.
if you've thought about it and analyzed what could happen next.
Exactly.
It's like you need to roll up, see the situation, and it's just there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
You can't fake presence. You can't just
You
like
can't fake
conjure
presence.
it.
I like
Yeah.
that. Can't fake presence. Dang.
You've really done it this time, subscribers.
Yeah.
There's a few of you at this point.
Shame
and
on you.
Shame on you. Yeah. What have you done? You opened up our pot. You made us curious. Come on. Come on now.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame. Shame. What are you looking at?
I'm just wondering if this has something to do with the snick.
It always does.
The whole thing. The snick is...
None of this has happened without the snake
That's
in the
true.
room.
Very, very mischievous.
We have a
little
lot
snake.
of evidence to say that
A
it's
lot.
all the
A
snake's
lot of
fault.
it. This is our hypothesis.
Burn the snake! Or worship it.
Woo!
Or neither.
Worship it, for sure.
Alright, folks. That was a journey. We're glad you were here for it. Much love.
Much love.